Need F-16s. I'm ruling it out for now. Federal officials investigating the toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, say what happened was 100% preventable. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy detailed how a wheel bearing on one of the train cars overheated and failed. She said there's no evidence so far train crews did anything wrong or that there were train defects. The agency is still in the fact-finding phase of its investigation, and there are still a lot of unanswered questions. 2 people are dead and 11 others injured after bicyclists were hit by a pickup truck in Arizona. It happened this morning in Goodyear, west of Phoenix. 1 person died at the scene. Another passed away at the hospital. The driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating. What caused the accident is under investigation. Arizona governor wants a former state attorney general investigated for his alleged actions relating to the 2020 election. A letter was sent on behalf of Democrat Katie Hobbs to the State Bar of Arizona concerning Republican Mark Brnovich. Records recently released show that he didn't reveal findings from his investigation that pushed back against claims of widespread fraud. The letter from Hobbs' general counsel called his conduct likely unethical. Brnovich pushed back by saying Hobbs is trying to defame and cancel a political opponent instead of addressing the serious issues facing Arizona. I'm Chris Coraggio, NBC News Radio.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Welcome, everyone. This is Marie Antoinette Wade, your host here at the International World Builders Radio Talk Show. We are here live on KCAA Radio Network, affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are also connected to Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android under Building Solid Foundations. And you can watch all our shows on demand if you are interested in subscribing to the Building Solid Foundations. Now, today I'm really excited because I have an amazing guest, and her name is Lolly Hanks. Lolly is the founder, CEO, and president of the America Choice Mortgage. She is a real estate broker and loan officer. I don't know what else title I can name her, but she pretty much does everything. So I want to welcome Lolly. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Friday and Happy New Year to you.
Yes, welcome to the International World Builders.
Thank you. Congratulations on all your success and being out there everywhere. I love it.
Yes. Lala is also one of our experts in the Finest Women in Real Estate TV talk shows. And she is a great educator on mortgage. She has given us a lot of information when it comes to, buying home and a lot of the regulation on the mortgage industry. So I'm very, very impressed with her knowledge. And, I asked her to be our expert today because we're talking about building wealth. And as far as I know, Lala has been a very successful businesswoman. And she has her business in the North County, San Diego. So Lala, can you tell us how it all started for you with the mortgage industry?
Sure. Yeah, actually, 9/11, that experience kicked me out of my previous career. I was in voluntary employee benefits, and I couldn't get anybody to call me back except a broker's office that was trying to recruit me. And after 3 months of crickets, I said, well, I kind of have no choice. I really thought I had my previous career figured out, but I know that turned life upside down for so many, and so many more than me. So my heart goes out to all those that, lost loved ones at that time. But I was fortunate enough to be pulled into the mortgage business. I actually wanted to be a pediatrician. And
wow.
Then, did the math on how much that would cost and how much time that would take. So I said, well, let me give sales a shot. And, my first job was selling copiers. And I actually did make 6 figures my first year, but I wasn't passionate about selling copiers.
Okay.
I was lucky to be passionate about my next career, but, life had a different plan. And I'm sure we've all had those moments where we have to pivot. And I went into the mortgage industry and I had no idea. I'd gotten out of a few years of college and I knew nothing. I felt completely green and naive, and I'm supposed to call people and help them with their mortgages. And my broker at the time said, don't worry, you'll know more than 9 out of 10 people that you talk to. And that was true. I got 18 loan applications my very first day, December 18th, 2001. And I learned a lot from that brokerage, but, things got very competitive, and I kind of felt like I needed to blaze my own trail with my own, integrity of how to do the business. And when I realized that, getting my license, to be a loan officer was only about a third or a fifth of what it would be to get my broker's license. I just went for it. So I've been a broker for about 17, 18 years, and I've had America Choice Mortgage that long, and it has developed
Wow.
into a network. So I have America Choice Benefits, America Choice Marketing, America Choice Mortgage, and I'm able to kind of share my passion and my creativity that way as well, rather than just be behind each loan. But
Okay, so when you got into the mortgage, was it difficult to learn the technical part of the business?
it's definitely more difficult today than it was then. Compliance has gotten better.
Okay.
I remember it took 3 years before I even knew what a 4506T was to verify someone's tax returns. And,
Okay.
I saw a lot. There was a lot of stated programs. You just pay, 0.25% of your loan amount. So like on a $400,000 loan, it was $1,000 and you didn't have to supply anything. It was called a Nina. So of
Okay.
course that's easier for everybody. We would sell those all day long, especially when you're pulling people out of, sometimes double digit rates, maybe 9% rates, and you're giving them, 5.9 or whatever it might have been at the time with no docs. So things have changed, and I think in most cases for the better. There are still stated programs, but they're far more reasonable with regards to loan to value and credit history. But things have changed, and at the time it was more just, how can I help this person, and what are the key
Hmm.
questions that I should ask? And then once I got that application, I'm like, what do I do with this?
Yes.
So in the beginning it was live and learn. But I picked up pretty quickly. I would consider myself fortunate to be smart and tenacious. So I went for it. I think within the first year, I mean, I was probably doing 10 to 15 loans a month, but back then it was like I could rub a couple pieces of paper together and create a loan. Today it's a
Wow.
little bit more cumbersome, but all for the better.
Okay. So that's a lot of loans for someone who is been in the industry for only a year.
Yeah, and then I built a team. So,
Okay.
I think my company was sad to see me go, but I was also sad to see some of the things that they were doing. And I just couldn't line up with some of that. It
Mm-hmm.
got really competitive. Lending Tree was out there. And so, people are just, they think the right question is, what's my rate going to be on the first phone call? But if somebody answers you what their rate's going to be on the first phone call without enough information to honestly, derive an accurate rate, that's the first thing you should do is run the other way. So,
Okay.
I do things different. I'm honest with people, and I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear, and I'd rather be the bearer of good news, not the bearer of bad news. So I do my best to, you know, I guess I don't like lying. And if I missed a rate lock cutoff just because the time ran out, I'll wake up at 3 in the morning, are we there yet? So there's no way I could, lie to somebody intentionally and then
Mm-hmm.
deliver that bad news later. So that wasn't for me. So that's what motivated me to, create my company and learn how to run an entire business because
Okay.
trust me, that wasn't something I learned when I thought I was going to be a pediatrician.
Okay. So you've been talking to a lot of people that are potentially buyers, right, of homes, and
We're
or
Yeah,
what is
we do refinance and purchase. We
okay.
do some commercial. I work with a lot of veterans. That's one of my favorite products on the market. And a lot of first-time home buyers or people with, damaged credit. It's better
Mm-hmm.
to, get into a property and refinance later. So we do some FHA loans as well. We also have debt service loans, where basically it's a rental and you don't need to support the qualification by income, but by rental income. And then a big product that we believe is going to be helpful for people in the future would be home equity lines of credit, because most people have that shiny maybe 2-3% rate that they don't want to reset, but the cost of living is going up, and credit card interest rates are not good to carry. So home equity lines of credit are popular right now, as well as the home equity conversion mortgage, which is sometimes referred to as a reverse mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I like to refer to them as their actual name, which is a HECM, and
Okay.
that helps anybody over 62. If they have about 50% equity in the home, they can live in that home and not have to make any payments in it. The equity can pay the interest, and it's a great product, especially for seniors or people on fixed income. And the property values, for example, in California can be quite expensive. I've helped some families where their income didn't even cover the property tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
And financial stress can really, deteriorate your quality of life as well as your, mental health and, longevity. So I really feel like that's a great product going forward, especially with, baby boomers and people that did get into the market years ago, but maybe their retirement doesn't quite look like what they hoped it would look like. And they can actually, leverage off of that asset rather than living in their asset.
Okay. I have a question for you. So you get to see all the financial information of someone who is just, starting out. Now, so if you see the information that might be, difficult for them to even buy a house, what do you do? How do you take them to the process where they can ultimately buy a house?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is to understand where the income is coming from and make sure that you only ask the client for the documents that are needed to support that income. So for example, a lot of loan officers, will give somebody an entire list of items. Well, I don't need all of that. If you're a W-2 employee and you're salaried and you've had that job for years, then, why would I need your tax returns? I don't need those. And so I think that sometimes just simplifying what documents are needed is half the battle. I joke and say that I'm a passionate fifth grade math teacher and a paperwork motivator, because at the end of the day, that is my job, is to just get the paperwork together so that we can qualify you. And that feels cumbersome, just like doing our taxes or whatever mundane paperwork feels like for anybody, especially when it's yours. It's a little bit more emotional, just like anybody else. I'll find everything else to do but clean my kitchen if I'm not in the mood to clean it. All of a sudden everything else is done, but I wait, 2 hours to do what took me 20 minutes. So I think a lot of it is psychological, it's just, getting there, understanding what you need. And then at that point, I can qualify you and let you know what that documentation can afford you. Okay. Oftentimes people have other parties involved, but maybe their credit score or other things don't improve the file situation. So in cases like that, where there's multiple streams of income, we might use a bank statement loan. Maybe we go 12 months bank statements or 24 months. And then for some self-employed, we can even do a P&L program. So there are other options, but we always like to start with, exhausting to get the best rate possible. So we look at, full income first, help people understand how that's qualified and calculated. And then from there, we can always look at other, documentation options to still reach their goal. Otherwise, we plan backwards with them so that they can be set up for the future.
Yeah, I remember when I first tried to buy my house, and the loan officer that we were working with, he was asking for all this information. And sometimes you have to think that, is it okay for me to disclose everything to someone that I don't know? And I think part of it is having that comfort level in working with someone. And if they feel like, okay, I can trust this person, then I can disclose all the information, right? And so
there are some ways to be a little bit more safe about that. I don't like just emailing something from Gmail and then it's sitting in your sent folder. So I recommend, if you are using, an email account, especially if you don't own that server, it's a good idea, once you know that documentation landed where you wanted it to go, delete it from sent and then delete it from deleted. Because if your email ever gets hacked, then at least that information is gone and removed from there. So that's one, I guess, sloppy safety measure. We use Dropbox, which is like a bank level encrypted, cloud server. So I share a folder with a borrower and only they can access that folder. So that's normally how we kind of protect our clients, information from.
Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to expand that discussion, but we're going to take a commercial break right now. This is the International Wealth Builders. Please don't go away. We're going to take a commercial break. And we are here with Lalil Hanks, who is the founder, real estate broker of the America Choice Mortgage.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services, including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing, and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio Talk Show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate business and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hi, this is Jim McLaughlin with Effective Action Consulting, and I've been a member of Fire Up Connect for, probably 3 years now. And what I really like about Fire Up Connect is the unique model that we go through, that we follow, the agenda, so to speak, in the meeting that really has us get engaged and involved with each other in the meetings. It's not that we're individuals, it's that we're all really working together to better ourselves, our businesses, and the community through the projects that we work on. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to network with people in this environment, and it's really impacted my business in a big way. So take a look.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station, KCAAradio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Welcome back to the International Wealth Builders. This is your host, Marie Antoinette Waite, and we have our guest, Lolly Hunt, who is the real estate broker of the America Choice Mortgage. And she was just sharing her ways of making sure that the people are comfortable in sending the information to her, because a lot of us are, sometimes we have this anxiety about providing our information to someone that we don't know. And so, Lolly, you want to expand that answer that you gave us in regards to, sending the information to you?
Sure. I mean, most professional lending institutions, they're not going to ask you to email documents, but you certainly can take some measures to, protect that if you choose to send documents that way. We use a bank level encrypted server called Dropbox. That works for us because just the borrower is invited to a shared folder. But sometimes that can be challenging. Maybe I'm working with a roof contractor and they're not sitting at a computer all the time, and it becomes frustrating. We'll meet with the client sometimes in person, especially if we have somebody that's maybe a senior and they're just a little timid about sharing, electronic documents or, being taken advantage of. So we try to, acclimate to what our clients' needs are. But I truly believe that, Dropbox is the safest way for us to get that information. But if they do email it, I recommend you delete it after sending it so it's not sitting on your server. One measure that people are always concerned about is, I don't want to run credit. And obviously, if you want an accurate quote, credit is one of the most, pinnacle pieces of, data that determines what you qualify for. So it is really important, to have the right scores. And unfortunately, when you look at your Credit Karma, or maybe you have a bank that shows you your credit score as a courtesy, those scores don't really line up with a mortgage tri-merge. So we use what's called iSoft Pool, one of my friend's companies, and that allows us to check exactly what the score is, see what the debts are and the payment history without a hard inquiry. It's called a soft inquiry, which means it doesn't show up. But you are allowed to, within 30 days, without having much hindrance, have a mortgage, report pulled. And if the score is really high, like, 780, odds are it's not going to budge. Okay. What really pushes a score down and jeopardizes, that where people are concerned, I don't want to run an inquiry, is, asking for credit cards, left and right. Or if your score is in that 600 range, it may impact you a little bit more. Maybe it'll move down 5 points if you do it too much, or 10 points, where somebody with 800, it probably won't even flinch. So I don't know exactly what that formula is, but we don't like to spend, it costs us $45 to $50 to run credit. So we actually do that last, after we look at the soft pull score, or if the, borrower has a recent credit report, we're happy to quote and start looking at items with the hypothetical situation. But sometimes you can tell somebody they don't qualify, or they can make a decision off of something that's not accurate. So I do recommend, if there can be serious benefit or goals, that you do get a full credit report at some point. We generally do it after we qualify for income. So it wouldn't make sense for us to, run it out the gate and then you find out, oh, they actually don't have a job, or, oh, they, this is half the income we need. We wasted an inquiry, we wasted $50, we wasted time. So, our methodology, our method is to do that, after we've qualified the income.
Okay. How do you feel about the people that are shopping and they're going from one loan officer to another officer?
Yeah, well, I do think it's a good idea that you talk to 2 or 3 loan officers. I think with any major investment or purchase, you should interview, whether it be a CPA or accountant, or, whether you're going through a divorce, always talk to a few. You're going to learn something. You're going to learn what you like, what you don't like. And sometimes it's just a relationship, and you might have 3 people that are just as qualified. Just keep in mind that, someone really, even though there are rules in place that can keep people from, they try to keep people from misquoting, but rates change every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So if you are shopping for a home, you can work with 2 or 3 lenders. I would recommend finding the lender that's going to help you stand out to win the escrow. One of the methods that we follow, as soon as I work with the agent as a team, we don't do a pre-approval letter, we do a pre-approval package. We're going to include a cover letter, of course, that they've been pre-approved. We're going to, edify them. We're also going to include their credit scores without, personal information on it. We're going to provide the assets that are needed for the down payment. And in some situations, we might run what's called an AUS, or automated underwriting system finding. And that just stands out. One buyer comes in with just a letter, but we came in with a package, edifying our borrower, that they're going to be a great addition to the neighborhood, and that they're strong. And not only are they strong, but I've been doing this for 20 years, not 20 months. And we have all the documents ready, current, so that we can get out the gate right away. Because that's what everybody wants. They don't want to waste time if they're going to trust somebody to buy their home. I don't want to start gathering paperwork or teaching somebody how to download a PDF after they're in escrow. We want to get all of that painful paperwork process. I call it like the sit-ups at the gym. Like, that's not the fun part, but it's the most important part. And we want that done before they, make offers onto a property, because if they go into escrow, they're going to need to do the inspection, and they're going to want to focus on that home, not their loan.
Okay. So you understand exactly what the escrow is looking for to make it a win-win situation for everyone.
I understand what the listing agent's, doing, and the listing agent wants to protect, the seller, and they want to make sure that their reputation is strong and they're not wasting their seller's time, and time is money, because they may be paying, a mortgage on that, or they may be buying another home. And if you go into escrow with somebody that's really doesn't have all their ducks in a row or documents in a row, you're really, setting yourself up for risk of losing that and having to start all over again.
Okay. Now, do you see yourself kind of guiding some of your clients in regards to really building their wealth as a whole, not just, as a one transaction deal?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think one of the most important things is I'm educating clients, because there's a lot of myths or, misunderstood, phrases or ideas in the industry. Paying points is one of them. There's a very simple calculation to determine how quickly you're going to return that investment. So points are tax deductible, and on a purchase, you can write them off right away. You don't have to amortize that. So most people are sitting in a position where they can write off anywhere from 25 to 33% of those points. So just for easy numbers, let's say they have $10,000 in points, and that $10,000 drove the interest rate down by maybe 0.5% or 0.75, right? That's going to drive the payment down, and it's going to allow them to pay the principal down faster within their amortization table. So if you add those 2 pieces together and divide it into that net cost after tax deduction, you can get your month's return on investment. So in many cases, I can return, like I have a client right now, he's paying $20,000 in points, but that's going to return to his pocket or in his equity, one way or the other, within 13 months. So if he doesn't have a plan to sell the property or refinance, until after that point, that's a sound or a smart investment.
Wow.
So a lot of loan officers just don't even go there. They don't know how to teach that math, and people are taught, I want a no point loan. That's what the banks want you to do. That's not what serves you best.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's very good information for people to learn. let me ask you. I know that you have done this book on the road to the American dream. What is this about? What is this book going? Is it totally related to what you're doing
Yeah.
with the people that you're serving?
I don't know if you can see it, but
Yes.
it's called, yep, Road to the American Dream, What They Forgot to Teach You. And, you know, like I said, I was in college to be a pediatrician, so I was taking some pretty serious classes. I was in college for 3 or 4 years before I got into sales. And, you know, I knew nothing, and people are still doing the wrong things. For example, paying down principal early or making biweekly payments on a fixed mortgage. It should be considered predatory lending. It should not be allowed. It really only serves the bank, and it puts you in a hardship. You know, I do believe in taking that money maybe pre-tax. That way, increase maybe what you're investing into your pre-tax accounts like retirement or 401k. Let that grow, and then eventually, whatever you would have paid extra to the mortgage is actually going to be larger, and then pay the mortgage off in full. If it's a home equity line of credit, you know, that recasts similar to a credit card, daily or monthly. That's different. You know, you can pay that down and directly be impacted by what you're paying on interest. But on a fixed 30-year fixed mortgage, which is what most people have, you know, paying extra to principal, be it 50 cents or 50,000, you're really just making the bank more secure. And heaven forbid there be a, you know, an accident, a flood, a roof issue, or worse, a hardship health-wise, you know, between COVID and cancer and all the things that we face. You know, I was in a car accident. I got hit head on 55 miles an hour. It took me a year of, you know, 3-4 times a week to go to rehab, and that affected my income. But if, you know, and I went through my savings, you know, going through that. If I had put all those savings in the mortgage thinking it's going to get me somewhere, I would have been in real big trouble, right? Because I wouldn't have had the money to pay my mortgage. And I promise you, the bank won't care that I was in a car accident. They will take that home. So I really encourage people to not do that. And it's unfortunate because it's just like an old school method. I think even like Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman and those people, you know, they preach that kind of thing, and it's just not accurate. And I can't believe banks can actually encourage it, because it's like predatory lending to me. But back to the book, you know, in a sense, you know, one thing I like to do is break some of those myths and break it down to try to explain what better options there might be. Because I commend people for that responsibility and that diligence, but they need to do it a different way. Otherwise, they're really creating risk and potential hardship for their family. I also found that people have the same questions. You know, after doing the business for about 5 years, I was like typing the answers over and over again. They might ask, you know, do I want to impound account for my taxes and insurance? Or I'm refinancing. Do I have to make a payment during the refinance? Or I don't want to, should I pay PMI? You know, I could go on and on, but the questions were always similar when they did come out. So I started to just draft general articles, kind of self-serving, so I didn't have to keep typing over and over again. And I would attach the article and it'd be specific, maybe with their numbers. And I, you know, kind of woke up one day and had 55 plus articles. And I was doing a lot of hiring at the time, and I felt I needed to create a training manual, because there's a lot of people, you know, that want to get in this business. And just because you're licensed and the DRE or the NMLS give you a license, they have no clue where to start or where to begin or how to price a loan. I mean, that license, yes.
Yeah. Well, let's take a commercial break again. But I am interested in some of the stories that you have encountered doing your business. Sure. And I want people to really understand what impact you've done for these people. And so for everyone out there, don't go away. We are at the International Wealth Builders Radio Talk Show with Lale Hanks, who is the real estate broker and also the founder and CEO of the America Choice Mortgage. So we will be right back. Stay with us.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services, including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing, and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
You're on board KCAA 102.3 FM, 1050 AM. The station that needs no listener behind. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
102.3 FM, 1050 AM, 1050 AM. The station that needs no listener behind. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hello! Welcome to Fire Up Connect. Are you a small business owner? Do you lack the resources to manage your business? Is visibility and brand awareness a top priority for you? Fire Up Connect is a community of small business owners. We help our members find the right connections and the right resources to help them be successful. This isn't your typical business networking group. Members of Fire Up Connect are innovative, driven, and all about building long-lasting relationships. We work to identify your goals and understand what it is you do and how we can help you brand yourself and your business. Fire Up Connect is about creating business opportunities, community projects, educational sessions, and live seminars to help implement effective marketing programs for our members. Fire Up Connect helps members gain validation in their businesses, learn what challenges similar business leaders are facing, and access to subject matter experts on how to overcome these challenges. Fire Up Connect offers opportunities for organic exposure through our many marketing events, programs, and projects. There are 4 colors that make up Fire Up Connect. Yellow represents the back office and services available to Fire Up Connect members. Red represents Fire Up Connect's marketing and advertising resources, such as TV shows, radio, magazine book publication, and movie projects. Green represents Fire Up Connect's referral system, tracking incentives. And blue represents Fire Up Connect's donation, fundraising, and scholarship programs. Fire Up Connect members have access to monthly business sessions, price discounts on affiliated companies, and all Fire Up Connect programs, book publications, published articles for your business, access to Fire Up Connect scheduled webinar events, a photo shoot session, and a video production. Join us for our annual Fire Up Live seminars and gain valuable connections in the Fire Up community and boost your business. We believe in your business. We believe in what you do. At Fire Up Connect, we believe in you. Join us for our annual Fire Up Live seminars to gain, discover, and get fired up.
Real men of real estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station, KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Welcome back. This is Marie Antoinette Waite, your host here at the International Wealth Builders Radio Talk Show. And Lolly Hanks is our guest, and she's been giving us an amazing information for you to build your wealth. And one of the things that she was sharing was her book on the road to the American dream. So Lolly, can you share some stories that, you know, it was a very complicated situation for someone and you were able to help them out?
Yeah, I mean, I have a client right now. A year ago, he came to me with a 480 credit score, and a lot of that was because he went through a divorce and that was tough for him.
Mm-hmm.
His wife kind of handled the finances. You know, looking back, I think she did an okay job, but it wasn't, you know, anything that they shared. And he's, you know, a contractor. So he went through that divorce, and I think, you know, being that it was such a new thing for him to handle his finances since they were a partnership for so long, he kind of ignored it, and I hope things would go away. And there's a lot of myths, for example, oh, ignore it for 7 years and it's going to fall off your credit report. That's not true. once you've taken care of the matter and the creditor stops reporting, that will fall off after 7 years, but you do have to face the music and deal with it, whether you settle it, make payments, dispute it, whatever it be. So he came back to me just a couple months ago with a 560 score. Within 2 months, we got him up to a 611. We are saving him about $3,000 a month, and we're going to change his life. And within about 8 months, we think we'll have him at a 720 credit score.
Wow.
And most of it's just really being transparent, direct, honest. Sometimes it's not the most comfortable conversations, but I really do care. And, a lot of people I'll do the footwork for, if they're not having, I guess, that kind of, let me ignore my, my credit habits and I want them to change. We had to order payoffs and dispute some items, and he wanted to get off the phone. I'm like, oh, sorry, you're staying on this one for me, because I knew he needed to go through that pain, for example, because I don't want him to go back to the same habits. A lot of people will do those things but for this particular person, it's like a little bit of tough love. But he's really appreciative. He's going to be a changed man, and we're going to simplify things so he doesn't have all these, noisy credit things that are annoying, and we're just going to change the man's life. So
wow, so he's going to be a lot smarter for the next time around, right?
Yeah, I mean, going from a 480 to a 720 score in 1 year and saving $3,000 a month, I mean, it's going to create a lot of confidence. And now he's already talking about, okay, I think I'm getting this, and I maybe want to buy another property and rent this one out. So I'm excited to see that growth and that transition, because my clients, truly become friends after the process.
And they become smarter, and they ended up having more assets, by being connected to you, because you're giving them a lot of knowledge.
I take the time to teach, because I think, bad news travels 10 times faster, and you're expected to do a good job, but they're only going to talk about you if they leave feeling empowered, knowledgeable, if they felt like it was an excellent job. That's the only times that people will go talk about the good news. You have to really pass up that expected, customer service. You have to really go to that extra level to be able to get them to want to brag about the experience. And that's what I feel like I've done. After 2006, the last market crash, people call it 8. That's when everybody else caught on, but it really started in 6. But I was buying internet leads back then, and that's all I knew, because that's what I learned, from the first moment I got in the business in 2001. It's just buy leads, feed the birds. Well, once the industry got challenging, I realized I never want to buy leads again, ever again, because when that dries up and you're left going, now what? That can really topple someone. So I swore in 2006 I would never buy a lead again. So that's why I do different community events, fundraisers. I like to highlight nonprofits. I like to educate people through the process, as well as doing workshops. So that's kind of also where the book comes in. I just feel like if you do brand yourself in that way with community service, you're not going to be toppled when the industry shifts.
Well, I've known you for quite some time now, Lali, and one thing I know is that not only you're very well educated on this matter, you're also very kind and very supportive to a lot of people. Even for me, you've done a lot of things of support for me with all the events that I've done, and I treasure our friendship, and I treasure you as a business woman in the community, because you know how to benefit your own community with your connections and talent, and plus you it really shows in your character how you are as a person, and that's one thing that I love about you. And I think people, when they're choosing the people that they want to work with in any type of business, they really need to get to know people character wise, and that's how you can build the trust, and understand that the testimonial, the organic referrals and testimonials come from a great service that you provide.
Right. I agree. And same to you. I think women and men alike, but I find that in many cases, you can find some women be maybe a little bit catty, or you have the mean girls. And, I admire, women in business, especially when they're supportive to others, and that resilience, and, just the constant go get it. I learn a lot from you as well, and you've supported many people. So, likewise, and hopefully birds of a feather flock together, right? You get to attract that.
Yes, and I know that you're running a brokerage. So how many loan officers do you have?
Yeah, we have 3 loan officers, and I also have a executive project manager. So one of my loan officers has been doing it twice as long as me, so she's pretty self-sufficient. Another loan officer, he's kind of crossing over from real estate, but he speaks Farsi. I'm half Persian, and I don't speak Farsi, so I get a lot of Persian clients. But of course, just like any other nationality, sometimes you want to process the information in your first language. So he helps me a lot there. Reza, you probably met him at one of your events. So I think we have a great team. I think what's been challenging for me is getting other loan officers, recruited to do things my way. And I do it my way for a reason, because I think all of those steps are required for me to make a good financial recommendation. So there are a lot of loan officers out there, they'll just read a rate sheet and spit a rate out, and they pick up in numbers what they, maybe lack in skill. But I feel like that process is really important. So we're always hiring and looking for people that understand how to, be efficient. My goal is growth so that I can actually, reach more people. But it's important for, my team at least to adopt my mission statement and, our integrity and our goals and our values here. So.
Okay. Well, coming into this year, Lolly, what are the things that you're planning to expand your business or even with your own personal wealth? I mean, what is your vision? I wanted to just hear what you have.
Yeah, well, I'm always playing with that a little bit. I picked up another property recently, and we're looking at are we gonna rent this? Are we gonna go another level up, create maybe a second living space? I think that if you can create more passive income, that's the best way to go. I'm really passionate about music and art and communications, so I have some endeavors that I'm pouring into to expand and highlight, but I believe that always comes back around. It's kind of like just another cog to the wheel, if you will. But I'm facing, just like anybody else, tax season, tax planning, making sure you're thinking ahead. I have an appointment with my tax accountant coming up, and one of the other things is, a penny saved is a penny earned. I think these days, especially being a busy mom and a busy business owner, I'm looking at my credit card statements and I'm like, Hulu and, what's this subscription and Xbox and, Apple. I'm like, they're draining me every which way. So, taking time and making time on a regular basis to, review, just my credit card statements to make sure that they're accurate. I think we get so busy and we put that off. So I'm trying to put that on my own calendar so that I make a habit of, little things like that, because it will add up. But it is tough because it's like, what do they say, that the cobbler's kids never had shoes? I tend to put my, I'm like, oh, I got to scramble and get my stuff done because I'm so busy whipping through everybody else's. But it does make it easier. One of the things that I like to point out is, show me everything. Don't be intimidated. I know it feels overwhelming to you, but to me, that's not my kitchen to clean, right? I can help a friend clean their kitchen real fast, right? So it's kind of the same thing. So I don't have the emotional attachment, for example, with my client that I'm working with, looking at, his credit, every time he tried to face all that music or noise, it was noise, we're going to turn it into music. But, you face that stuff and it's like, oh, I want to do something else because this emotionally hurts that, I let that go, or this blemish is on credit. So, just know that if you're working with a good professional, they can whip through your finances a lot faster than you can because we're emotionally detached. So that really helps simplify things for people, I think.
That's amazing. Now, are you, I guess we're getting close to the next segment here, but before you, I want to ask you this question, but before you answer, we're going to move on to the next one, okay? So I guess my question is, are you doing anything aggressive for your business itself? And we will be right back with your answer, okay? And this is the International Wealth Builders, everyone. We are with Lolly Hanks, and so stay with us, and we will be right back.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections. Hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. FireUp Connect also offers virtual assistants with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. FireUp Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Jim McLaughlin with Effective Action Consulting, and I've been a member of FireUp Connect for, probably 3 years now. And what I really like about FireUp Connect is the unique model that we go through, that we follow, the agenda, so to speak, in the meeting that really has us get engaged and involved with each other in the meetings. It's not that we're individuals, it's that we're all really working together to better ourselves, our businesses, and the community through the projects that we work on. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to network with people in this environment, and it's really impacted my business in a big way. So take a look.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio Talk Show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Real men of real estate.
Men of Real Estate Radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Marie Antoinette Wade, your host at the International Wealth Builders. And Lolly, I had a question for you earlier. So what is your vision for your company this year?
Well, my main vision is just to move with the needs of the market. I think that's what, I've been good at is, spotting, what's ahead, what's the product that's needed. A lot of people, if they qualified, probably have a 3% mortgage and they're afraid to touch that. And so one product that I think is really going to help people is a home equity line of credit. And I would encourage those to not wait until you need it. Okay. Banks like to lend money to people that don't need it. Your rate's going to be better. And if you let your score drop too much because your debt load goes up, because cost of living goes up, but you're holding on tight, you don't want to refi, right? That can be a double-edged sword, because if you wait too long, you might not qualify for as good of a program to help you. I like a home equity line of credit because you don't have to use it. And if you don't have it drawn, you're not paying on it. But it's a great resource for emergencies. If you do not have at least 6 to 12 months saved, I think 12 plus months is important because of what I went through with the car accident. 3 months can run out really quickly if you have a serious illness or something that keeps you from working. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have at least 12 months saved in the case of a hardship or an emergency and you're not debt free, I would highly recommend looking to see what you need to do or qualify and get a home equity line of credit while you have the value there. And if you don't need it, great. Keep it at a zero balance and won't cost you anything from there. I just think that waiting too long is going to, jeopardize a lot of people, unfortunately. Okay. I have a client right now, he's got $100,000 in credit card debt, but he's got a 2.5 30-year fixed mortgage, and he doesn't want to do anything until he has to. But, he could wait too long and maybe not qualify because we want his score over 700, and they are going to want the debt ratio to be strong, and they're going to want some savings. So, just stay ahead of that, think ahead. Don't wait till it's too late and you need it. So we're going to be focusing on educating people on that product, as well as home equity conversion mortgage. This is for seniors over 62. A lot of people refer to that as a reverse mortgage because it will allow the equity to pay your interest. I've seen this be a life-saving game changer for families as well as the homeowner. One of my good friends' mom, she was making, I think, $800 a month in Social Security, and her property tax bill was about $950 a month.
Wow,
She was
that's pretty
losing her
high.
mind. I mean, she was, really losing her mind, going cuckoo. When I went to the
Yeah.
house, it was really apparent that she was not okay. And that financial stress on her, her children that were also not in the position to help mom, but her home was free and clear. So what we did is gave her a home equity conversion mortgage, and she had no mortgage payment for as long as she lives in that home. She is alive and well, and she has tons of energy. She's super happy. She has money in the bank, and it's just changed everybody's life. So it's not a product for everybody. If you're fortunate to have, a retirement, a pension, you've saved a couple million and you're living off your dividends, and you have a great rate and you can afford that, great. Maybe it's not the product for you, but I would highly encourage people to learn about that program, and we're here to help people do that.
Okay. Do you provide some sort of a event session where they can, learn more about this?
Yes, that's actually what we're doing, and it's a HECM versus HELOC just for knowledge.
Okay.
So you could do that over Zoom. You can schedule an appointment with me. We are planning to do one once a month. Our office is in Rancho Bernardo, so it's just a really great spot. And as it grows, maybe we'll throw in some live music and have some fun, because I always like to have some fun.
Yes, I know.
but yeah, you can reach out anytime. I was a big event planner. I've thrown a couple of concerts. We've raised, over 35,000 for some nonprofits, and that's really a big passion of mine. But that's probably back on the horizon now that we're past, COVID and certain restrictions that people were concerned about. So
well, let me ask you, how can they get the American Dream book that you have, and how can they get hold of you? If you can just share that to everyone.
Sure. So The Road to the American Dream, What They Forgot to Teach You, is actually on Amazon. So that's a really, really great way to get it quickly. If you do write a review, let me know. I'll send out a signed copy so you can pay one of them forward. So we really appreciate you, giving us a rating if you enjoy the book on Amazon. I am in Rancho Bernardo. You can find our office on Yelp. Pretty easy if you use that. America Choice Mortgage, our website. You can also go to lalehanks.com. It's LALEHHANKS.com, just like Tom. And that'll get you to all of our network. But you can also give us a call, 888-226-8840 will get to me. And best email is team, TEAM, at americachoicemortgage.com.
Okay. Can you repeat your phone number again? Because there's a lot of people driving and listening to us.
Yeah. 888-226-8840, or team at americachoicemortgage.com.
That's amazing. Okay. So Lali, what is your last piece of advice to everyone that's listening to our show?
Get qualified now, even if you're not going to buy for 5 years. Start learning now. People start to learn and do this crash course, education process when they're already there. So, I don't care if you don't buy for another 2 or 3 or 4 years. Just start learning what you need to get there. But make friends with us. We'll be happy to, support you. And I would also recommend that you pull your mortgage professional and your CPA or tax advisor together, especially for those that are self-employed. If you let your CPA know, hey, I'm planning to buy, because maybe you don't be so aggressive on some of your write-offs, or understand how that worksheet works. A lot of people think their bottom line number as a self-employed person is what we use, and that's not true. We get to factor in, back in some depreciation and different numbers. So learning how that's calculated, the sooner the better.
That's awesome. And by the way, we do have a lot of videos available on YouTube for the finest women in real estate, and you can also watch them all in Roku TV, because Lali has given a lot of information also from all of those shows. And I know that we have a magazine also with finest women in real estate that Lali was also in this magazine. It's called the On the Road to the American Dream. And she was talking about her book here. So check it out. It's available on magazine.finestwomeninrealestate.com. And you can read her article in this magazine. Well, I totally appreciate your time, Lala, here. And I hope to, get to see you again in the future with our show. You have a lot of information to share. So I'm very, very excited that we had you here today. So this is
my pleasure.
Yes, thank you. So this is International Wealth Builders, and I'm your host, Marie Antoinette Waite. Always watch our show. We are here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And this is the KCAA Radio Network. We are also available on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android. So don't forget, International Wealth Builders, share it to everyone, and you're going to learn a lot from building your wealth. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lali, and we will see you again.
Thank you. See
Bye,
you guys.
everyone.
Have a great year.
The Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands is serving up some real